You're ineffective.
Okay,
look,
you're a liar,
we've lost
Joe. You're a liar, Joe. Yeah. You're a liar, Joe.
The candidates for U.S. Senate lit into each other tonight in their only televised debate. It aired on 9 News and statewide, 11 days out from election night. Democratic Senator Michael Bennet and his Republican challenger Joe O'Dea got into it about whether each was being honest with voters. They also had clear disagreements about inflation and government spending. Let's bring in Kyle Clark, one of tonight's debate moderators at CSU in Fort Collins. Kyle, inflation, a top issue for voters, and that is where you guys kicked off the debate tonight.
That is where we began one of the sharper debates that Colorado politics has seen in the last decade or so. Republican Joe O'Dea, thought to be slightly trailing in this race, went on the offensive early against Democratic Senator Michael Bennet for the spending that he and President Joe Biden have engaged in over the last few years. And we had a question for Bennet himself about whether Democrats have been straight with the American people with their so-called Inflation Reduction Act. Did Democrats mislead Americans by calling it that? And do you have any concerns that the plan's spending will actually make inflation worse?
I don't think we misled the American people, and I don't think the spending is going to make it worse. Unlike the Trump tax cuts, this bill was actually paid for, and it would cap drug prices for seniors at $2,000 in Colorado.
O'Dea also faced questions about whether he's being straight with voters. He's made a pretty fantastic claim that the world's second largest tech company, Google, is interfering in this Colorado Senate election, that they have pulled his ads in order to help Democratic Senator Michael Bennet. 9 News has investigated that claim and found no evidence. The O'Dea campaign has also provided no evidence. So tonight, we asked once and for all. So tonight, what is your specific evidence that Google has pulled your ads to interfere in this election?
Kyle, they stopped my ads on abortion and how it was Googled for 2 weeks during our campaign. I stand by my decision. That's exactly what took place. You can go do your investigation.
Do you have any evidence?
I just told you they pulled one of our ads for 2 weeks. That's the evidence we got.
With respect, your word is not evidence, sir. Yeah. Do you have any evidence?
It's there. You can find it.
In fact, if you would like to look for yourself, Google puts all of its political ad spending online. It's a searchable library that you can search by candidate name. We've gone back and looked at O'Dea's ads dating back to April 14th. They were not pulled for 2 weeks, as he claims. He's had an ad up on Google every single day. I want to bring in one of my co-moderators, Marshall Zellinger, 9 News political reporter, to talk about what we saw tonight. And you could tell going into tonight that Joe O'Dea was looking to change the race with this debate, their only statewide debate, but Senator Bennet came ready to really lay it back at him.
Sure, it reminded me of when he had issues with Senator Ted Cruz on the floor of the Senate. I haven't seen Senator Bennet that fiery since that moment. I can't remember how many times O'Dea said it during the first, 5 minutes of the debate, but it was reckless spending, frivolous spending, really hitting on key points like, hey, he's the guy who's passed all these bills that have led to inflation. And O'Dea asked Senator Bennet if he regretted the spending, to which Senator Bennet said he regretted the inflation as a result of the spending. Should point out that some of the spending was part of the rescue plan that helped people at a time when they couldn't work or they needed help at work, including businesses like Joe O'Dea, though he paid most of that money back from the rescue plan that he borrowed from the government that he paid back. Other businesses were forgiven for their loans. So it was money. Reckless spending we heard from O'Dea, and on the Bennet side we heard, he just wants the former President Trump tax cuts for the wealthy. So a lot of it dealt with money.
Yeah, and a really clear ideological divide for voters to take a look at tonight, where you had O'Dea, the Republican, saying this reckless spending is causing harm, and Bennet happy to say, let me detail for you where all of this money went in Colorado and how he believes that it benefited people's lives. If nothing else, the folks who tuned in tonight saw a very lively hour and a clear choice between the candidates.
Marshall, Kyle, thank you for your work tonight. And just a reminder for all voters, this was the final of 6 debates that 9 News hosted. You can find those debates in full on our website, 9news.com.